This video focuses in on calculating some tricky percentages, 2.5% and 7.5% and others that derive from that. These questions quite often come up as questions all about fees that are charged on things like mortgage companies or bank loans, for example. So as an example, here we go, 2.5%. There's a link between 2.5% and 10%. 10% is really easy, you just divide by 10, and then 2.5% is a quarter of that, so you need to divide by 4. So to work out 2.5%, first thing you do is divide by 10 to give you 10%, and then you divide by 4 to give you 2.5%. So if we were faced with a problem like 2.5% of 120, first thing I do is work out 10%, which equals 12. 2.5% would be a quarter of that, so we have to do 12 divided by 4, which would give us 3. 7.5% works from the same principles, but there's just one extra step. So 10% of 120 would be 12. Next we work out 2.5%, which is what we did in the last question, by dividing by 4. So 12 divided by 4 would give us 3. Now the link between 2.5% and 7.5% is 7.5% is 3 times bigger. So we can do that answer, 7.5% equals 3, that's our answer there, times 3, which will give us 9. Some people prefer to work out 5% and then 2.5% and add them together. Either way you will get the same answer as long as you're careful to be accurate. Some questions that are a little bit dated refer back to the old VAT rate of 17.5%. So let's say you were asked to work out 17.5% of 120. First of all, I'd go 10%, which will be 12. Then I'd be tempted to go 5%, which is half of that, which is 6. Then I'd be tempted to go 2.5%, which is 3. And then if you add all those percentages together, you get 17.5, which means you just add all of these numbers together, which will give you 21 altogether. Be wary of these questions because they may say 17.5% is added to the price of something. So in that case, that would not be the answer. You'd have to add it onto the original number that you were given. Just be careful to read the questions because that can make all the difference as to whether you get the right answer or not. And if it's multiple choice, you might find that they give this answer as an option when it actually has to be added on to give you the correct answer.